Welcome to Today I Work On, and welcome to another Tile Redi based video. This Tile Redi based video is going to go over the new style of off-the-shelf Tile Redi bases. As you watched in my other videos with Tile Redi, this is the history of Tile Redi, so you understand the base. Because there's a lot of confusion out there because they keep changing things. Back in the day, Tile Redi had a base. You needed to use red epoxy on the base, on here, to set the tile. 2 years ago, they said you don't have to use the red epoxy. Now you could use approved thin-set mortar. I'll put up the approved thin-set mortars. And all they did was they sanded the ABS down. This is ABS plastic. They just sanded it down and they found out that, hey, thin-set mortar, it works. So now we don't need to sell the red epoxy. They used to come with it for free. Now, they made another move. This is brand new. I ordered 3 Tile Redi bases. I have 2 others down yonder, and I'll show you the difference. This has like a gray, grainy texture to it. And it is a new style. This is a 40 by 48 Tile Redi base off the shelf with the ribs. You see the ribs? And remember, custom Tile Redi base does not have ribs on the bottom. It is flat. It's any size. But you could build, and they have all these different styles Tile Redi bases now. They've come a long way, and I really am glad that Tile Redi's making moves and they're growing their off-the-shelf product. Also, I know Tile Coach is a part of Tile Redi. He's like a sponsor or whatever. That is great because I've been on board with Tile Redi for years, and it's good that more and more people are seeing the Tile Redi base through his exposure. I have talked to him in comments. I feel like, not for nothing, the videos are lacking detail because I think it's confusing people still with all the different types of bases. So in this video, like my previous video with the Tile Redi base, I'm going to get into detail on how to install this new base with the gray in a new construction. I haven't had a new construction video on these bases. Also, we're going to add on this video. There's a lot in this video with Tile Redi. I'm building 2 benches on here. Now, Tile Redi does sell a bench and ready kit, but the bench and ready kit is very limited. You can't do this with with a bench and ready kit, 2 sides like this. Just is not going to happen. So there's going to be a steam shower. It's going to be a pretty intricate system. I do have a shelf back here. It has nothing to do with the Tile Redi base, but it is 6 feet wide, and I went with a 4 foot by 4 foot base, which will be plenty of room for 2 people, a bunch of shower heads, and also I'm doing the mow and use system. I've heard a lot of mixed reviews on this stuff, but that'll be in another video. But for now, we're just going to rough in this Tile Redi base in a new construction. The Tile Redi bases, their roughing is always 6 inches off the wall. It's just always like that. It's the way it's been since I've done them. I'm just splitting the difference on this wall because I have to build 2 benches on each side. I always start off with a 4.5 inch round hole, and then I use my jigsaw. So let me drill this rough in first, 4.5 inches, and then we'll widen it out a little bit. Before you drill, make sure you're not hitting a joist. My joist with the eye joist, if I hit them, that would be a huge problem. So let's not do that. Well, good news. I didn't hit anything, but I am pretty close to my basement's foundation wall, which makes sense. So now I'm going to get something that's about 5.5 inches, like 5.5, 6 inches, and cut a wider hole. So I'm going to take this. This is a straight flex. Remember straight flex? I use it on my corners. So it's about 5.5 inches. I'm just going to use a pencil and go around. It doesn't have to be, I got a comment. They're like, oh, you took out 6 inches on this and it's supposed to be 5.5. It can be 6 inches. It's not going to flex the Tile Redi base because on the flat area of this Tile Redi base, it's basically flat anyway. You put like maybe a 1/4 inch of mortar there, so don't worry about it. But I just made this circle and now I'm going to cut it out with a jigsaw. Cutting it out. All right, let's just drop it in. Bingo. Now that looks really good. It's a nice big old base we got there. Let's check the measurements. So we should have 13 inches. And we got 13 shy, so I'll just tap it over a little bit. 13. So we have to just split the difference. It's going to be 12 7/8. There you go. That's the first part. The next part is we're gonna set the base and mortar. So this Tile Redi base is basically set to be mortared down. On new constructions, I totally recommend just setting the base before you run any of your waistlines. Set all the bases just like a tub. So we'll set the base and mortar, and then we'll continue this video. It's time to set this base. So it's the new Tile Redi base. I keep saying that, but it is a new Tile Redi base. I have some plastic shims here. I'm gonna just see what is level and what is not level on this base. The biggest situation we have here is that back trench needs to be perfect, because over the years, I've had so many people contact me about leveling off this base, and I always tell them, level the trench. On this base, they need to level the trench and level the front. So everything needs to be level. But what happens is, if you don't level the trench, water will stand in one of the sides. You don't want that. So make sure you level the trench. So let me mix up some water, and I'll get into the plastic. The plastic, everybody. You need to put the plastic underneath the base. You're setting the base. You're not adhering the base to anything. You're just setting it. It's the definition of set. It's not adhere. Let's like get on the same page with this. These are the two most common questions I have with the Tile Redi base. Is the plastic on the bottom? I don't understand why people are so resistant to it. Because they think you're adhering the base. So let me set the base. Before I get into the Tile Redi base, do you see this? Look at the graininess on this. If I could go this way, you could see it. This is not like the other bases. Let me show you the other base real fast. So this is the old base. Do you see how different it is? It's completely smooth, which is interesting on why they did that, because they swore to me up and down that this base was good to go with using thin set mortar. So anyway, let's get to prepping the base for mortar. So before I cut my garbage pan, I made two lines here. I'm gonna just cut the garbage to that point so I know where I wanna put it in the middle. The hole right here basically is gonna determine my middle. But let me cut the garbage bag in and staple it down. The plastic is set. Please do this step. I'm going to take a stapler and just lightly staple it. Not much, like probably 6 or 7 staples, and then I'm gonna cut the hole. The reason why we're doing this is because the mortar will set with moisture into the base. We don't want the mortar to dry out early into wood, because what happens if you put water on this plywood, the wood absorbs the water. If you put the plastic, it'll just sit there and pool. That's the only reason why, and we're just setting the base. We're not adhering the base. Let me staple it down. Done. That's it. Now I'm going to cut the hole out. Right here. We're using the custom blend economical non-modified thin set mortar. This is the same mortar as S&M type mortar. I have confirmed this. I will show you the email from the engineer. We're fine with this. Do not worry. Non-modified mortar is non-modified mortar. The difference between non-modified mortar and modified is non-modified expands and grabs the fins on the back of the tile, underneath the Tile Redi base. Modified actually shrinks a little bit. If you use a modified mortar, on an off-the-shelf Tile Redi base, the base will move and your tile will crack. Let's mix up some mortar now. Another most commonly asked question is, do I fill all of these pockets with mortar? You don't. You don't have to worry about this. That's why it's high up. What makes this area strong? The curb, right? You see this curb? It's the tile you use. The tile strengthens this up because you have a vertical piece of tile right here, and then you also have a piece right here, and then you have the top. It makes it super hard. Tile Redi doesn't want this area to move. You see right here? You see there's a lot of flex in it? That's where the bottom tile is, and these ribs are held in by the mortar. As you can see, we have about 1.5 inches, and then it goes down to probably like 5/4. I don't fill this up all the way. I maybe fill it up halfway, 3/4 of a way, and that's plenty. They just want these ribs to get locked in. Okay, don't worry about filling this entire cavity. I've never done that because that's really hard to do. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to set the Tile Redi base and then shim it out so it's level. So let me do that. We have a situation here where I'm gonna shim up both sides because I feel like we have a crown going on in the plywood. So I'm gonna put a full shim on one side and then a full shim on the other, and now I'm gonna feel it out. So I'm gonna put, I'll tell you, this is kind of sandpapery. It's hurting my knees. It's so weird. All right, so I'm gonna see if there's so the flex is now gone. Let's check the level. All right, so that's perfectly level. So right now, because I think it's the corner of the house, I have a little bit of a bow in the plywood. And that happens, that's completely normal. All right, so that's good. Now let's check the side. That looks pretty level to me. Let's check this side. That looks pretty level to me. All right, last check is we check the front. Level just makes it. And we have the same situation going on here. So what we need is, I need 2 more shims to get rid of this crown. That is perfectly level. So the floor is level, it's just a little bit of a crown, I think, because I think this Advantech is popping up a little bit over here. No big deal. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lift the base up carefully, I'm gonna nail these shims down. So let me do that now. Next up, I'm just going to install some drywall nails right here. Done. Remember, the biggest thing you don't want on a Tile Redi base is have that trench not level and a bow in the Tile Redi base. Those are the big mortal sins on when you set this base. Now let's mix up some mortar. I've never done this size base before. I'm gonna assume it's gonna take 1.5 bags of mortar. And I've gone over this in comments. The reason why I like using this mortar is it's easier to use. One video I used the Type S, or Type N, I don't know either, or they're like basically the same, and I hated it. The bags are heavier, it's harder to mix, and I was miserable. Right here, I feel like is the money consistency. Take a look. I think that's perfect. Look at it again so you could check it out when you mix it. I'm gonna mix it for another like 30 seconds and I'm gonna dump it. Again, check out the consistency, see how it comes off the paddle. I think that looks good. That right there is too soft. You don't want it that much, that loose. And I'll show you the difference. I did this on purpose to show you. Look at the difference. So I'm gonna go, this is too loose. You see this? That's no too loose. Now check this out. You see the difference? Look. This, too loose. I'm gonna lay it. I don't know how much I need. Let's try 1.25 of a bag and see if that works. Oh, that's nice. So let's dump it. you don't want to dig anymore. So this is like 1 1/4 of a bag. I'm gonna spread it out a little bit. I don't know. Maybe it might be good. So remember, when you're spreading it out, around the trench, you have to kind of make it flat, because there's nothing really going on there. Let's dump this, so 2 full bags. Yeah, it's definitely 2 full bags. Tile Redi, I paid for these pants. Tile Redi did not. I'm not sponsored by them or nothing. I just like their product. Alright, let's set this pan. And remember, I'm gonna step in it. Oh yeah, that feels good. Still a wiggle wiggle. Oh, that feels really nice. I'm stepping in it. Do you hear all that air coming out? That feels good. I'm gonna move it over a little bit this way. Let's check level. Well, you know, after doing these for years, if it sets right. On the money. Beautiful. Magnificent. All right, I'm not touching that. I'm just gonna throw some screws, 1, 2, 3 behind there, and then we'll recap this video. Before I finish this video, I just want to recap a few things. One, there's a little bit of gap there. Like my finger could fit in there. That's fine. Don't worry about it. A little bit of mortar's coming out on that side. That's fine. Don't worry about it. But she is level. Same thing over here. Same thing, a little gap here, because I have the shim. It's sitting on the shim, and the shims are level. So you gotta keep that all in mind. But yeah. But that's it for this video. If you have any questions, please ask, because I'm answering them. And the most common questions: do you need to fill up this cavity? No. What kind of mortar should you use? Unmodified, on the off-the-shelf base. And yes, they did come out with a new grainier texture on this new Tile Redi base. So that's this video. I'm going to get into another video on how I install benches on both sides of the Tile Redi base. I do have a video on how to do one bench. But again, if you watch my previous videos, the benches that come with Tile Redi are kind of tough to work with in my opinion. And I just like building my own custom sized bench. So look out for that video, and thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Take care.